to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Phoenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Tighter COVID-19 restrictions are being introduced in a series of European countries as confirmed cases rise. The Netherlands is imposing a month-long partial lockdown. French President Emmanuel Macron is due to outline new measures later. Northern Ireland's also announced a partial lockdown with schools closing for 2 weeks. A new 3-tier system of COVID-19 rules has started in England. Benji Hire reports from London.
The region around Liverpool in the northwest of England is currently the only area under the strictest limits, with pubs and bars closed unless meals are served there, and household mixing is not permitted indoors either. But just hours before these rules came into force in Liverpool, police were forced to disperse large crowds in the city centre. Meanwhile, ministers in Wales are planning very seriously for a short lockdown known as a circuit breaker. That's the sort of policy being backed by the leader of the opposition Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer. And in Northern Ireland, schools will close from next week.
On the US election campaign trail, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's accused President Trump of seeing senior voters as expendable in his handling of COVID-19. The president's told thousands of supporters in Pennsylvania he feels like Superman after his own treatment for coronavirus. As winter rolls in, Delhi's air quality is deteriorating drastically. The air quality index has dropped to its lowest in 8 months. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Many with respiratory issues are taking extra precautions due to the pandemic. New Delhi's morning turned hazy this week as seasonal crop burning started in several parts of North India. Experts say the smoke this year will be worse than previous years. And as the Hindu festive season nears, bursting firecrackers will also become more common, worsening the air quality further. Long-term exposure to air pollution kills over 1 million people in India every year, but many allege that the government is still not taking the issue seriously. Authorities say they're working on a graded response action plan which will help aid the problem in the next few weeks.
A Soyuz capsule has launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome carrying a crew to the International Space Station. It could be the last time an American astronaut is transported to space using Russian technology. Julia Chapman reports.
Since 2011, Russia has held a monopoly over transporting humans to the ISS. But earlier this year, Elon Musk's SpaceX successfully delivered a crew to the station. Kate Rubins could be the last American launched in a Russian Soyuz capsule, a journey which costs NASA some $90 million. She took off with Russian cosmonauts Sergei Ryzhikov and Sergei Kudzverchkov from Kazakhstan's Baikonur Cosmodrome on Wednesday. The Soyuz program has been the cornerstone of Russian-American cooperation in space. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
Meals on Wheels.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
There goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It's Wednesday, October 14th. We're your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how you doing this morning? Oh, I think your mute's still on, Tone.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, the mute was on because in between now we can't talk to each other because it goes over the air. So you'd hear all the weird rumblings, so that's why that was muted. But I'm doing good, man. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm working on 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. That's about what you want me to say, and that's all true.
Yeah. Now, I assume that you're hopped up on Zip Fizz or Red Bull or something along those lines?
Not hopped up yet, sir. I am working on a pina colada Zip Fizz, which it's okay. It sounds better than it really is. It needs probably some rum. But obviously, I can't do that this early in the morning. But
yeah, as long as it does what it needs to do, the way it tastes, who really cares?
Right. Yeah. No, it's not terrible. I've just had better.
Right. As long as it's not vomit worthy.
Yeah, no, if it was vomit worthy, I couldn't do it. I'd go find me that green poison somewhere. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, unfortunately, you've had to attend some funerals over the last couple months. Typically, a funeral is a sad occasion, though, it should really be more a celebration of life. At a funeral, how would you foresee celebrating a person's life?
Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. I think it should be celebrated as well. The only one we ever did like a big celebration of life was, I think actually 2 people. We did my buddy Jeff and my grandma. We waited post, you do your mourning and you go through all that stuff. And then when you can come together and celebrate them properly. But for what you do is you honor them by sharing pictures, playing their music, telling their stories, sharing memories, and just getting together with their friends, their family, your friends, your family that all knew that person and just honor them any way you have, whether it's a photo on social media, sharing a good memory, or penning a nice little tribute. Those are probably a handful of things, but knowing how silly our stuff is in the morning, I'm curious to see what you're about to say. Since I got all snappy and real on there.
There you go. You could play their favorite song, something like this.
I don't know if you can see what's going on.
Oh, I can see it.
On the camera. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's without really cursing on there.
I'm sorry, I just had to. But
no, I like it. This the ongoing annoying gag is going to be fun, considering it's better than the roast beef sandwich in Guantanamo Bay. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's not where the story is going.
Okay.
So a video of an unexpected funeral celebration is making waves online. In the video, a group of apparently Latin American country can be seen surrounding an outdoor casket. The wooden coffin is propped up on 2 motorcycles, wrapped in some kind of plastic. The short clip shows a woman dressed in a black shirt and jeans twerking atop the raised casket. You can't make this stuff up. Over the course of just 20 seconds, the woman grinds and gyrates in front of a celebratory crowd. Twice, she leans forward to plant a kiss on the glass covering between she and her loved one. The viral clip was originally shared by Twitter user OutsmokeChapo. In the 3 days since it was shared, the 23-second video has racked up 16,500 retweets and nearly 93,000 likes. The original poster even shared a link to the admittedly catchy song Ella Quiere Him by DJ Yayo, Lika El Poeta, and Michelle Masterboys. Never heard of any of them.
That's my favorite song.
That's your jam?
Yeah, that's my jam. That's my entrance when I walk into work, whatever the hell that song was.
And of course, he captioned it, "If your girl don't do this at your funeral, she really ain't your girl." So, I hope, when the time comes, way out into the future when we're in our 90s and I pass away, that Jessie decides to twerk on top of my casket.
I hope so. I hope she wears that gorilla costume, too. Yeah. And I hope they play that damn Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, well, here's another thing about she ain't being your girl. Well, you're dead. She ain't your girl anymore anyways.
Nope. We'll see how long it takes.
Just saying.
Yeah, for that mourning period to exist. But in any case, you know what? We have a wonderful show lined up for you guys today. It is a Wednesday. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
Hump Day! Yeah!
Yeah!
Kermit watching 2 frogs on TV!
All right, it is Wednesdays, and as we do on Wednesdays, actually our new bit is a thing that we talk about around here called Words Are Hard. Words are hard. I flubbed even a little bit in the story today. It's just one of those things that happens. Live radio, you know how it goes. We have a segment called Relationship Goals. Our call-in topic today is clever, scary movie moments. We have a segment called Say What. We have This Day in History, and Tony is up next with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly
naturally. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to call in, chime in on anything whatsoever. In fact, we got a couple calls from Kendra, one of our good listeners, yesterday. So always appreciate that. The number for the Fenix Line is 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together and put them out in a future show, or you can even call that number for our next day's call-in topic, which we'll get to a little bit later on today. Well, it is the second segment of this show, and you know what that means. Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 14th, and let's roll on with the Filippo Fast Five. All right, quick news today. Universal is going to remake Nicole Kidman's spooky haunted house thriller, The Others. Really? So if you like The Others, it's coming back. Hollywood, it's funny they have all these ideas for movies, yet everything keeps getting delayed. But there's another unoriginal Hollywood idea. Good news. The Batman resumes filming in the UK, and Colin Farrell is unrecognizable as the Penguin. Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah.
As a hobble, it didn't not even look like him.
Did you almost call him Hobblepot?
Robblepot.
Robblepot.
Cobblepot. The words are hard, Christian.
The Penguin.
Joshua Jackson replaces Jamie Dornan in the lead role of the Peacock true crime story series Dr. Death. Unfamiliar with that show. How about you?
I just heard a little bit about it. Apparently, it's sort of a dramatized version of like the Dr. Kevorkian sort of story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anna Taylor-Joy, who is fresh off The New Mutants. Well, not fresh,
4 years ago.
Her popularity is fresh off that. And Chris Hemsworth will star in the Mad Max spinoff Furiosa. She's going to play a younger version of Furiosa, which was played by Charlize Theron in the last Mad Max film. So that could be cool. I think it might be an all right fit.
Yeah, those are always fun.
And then, totally random story, Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America. I like how they just put 2 in there.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb. Is going to forego theaters as well. And Amazon purchased the rights to the film, and it will drop December 18th on Amazon Prime. So if you like the original Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, well, the sequel is coming out.
I knew they were working on it.
18th.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was done.
Not even a trailer or nothing. It's just December 18th. Here you go.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I will too. I mean, it might be one of those films that was waited a little too long, but it could be the Bad Boys route too.
Very true.
I'm doubting the Bad Boys part. I've yet to see a comedy that's been good after so long.
Right.
So, but I digress. And then the meats and the bones of today's show is the thicker entertainment news stories. Yesterday, this little company called Apple, they had a keynote. They announced some stuff. Something about a new iPhone 12. We're finally on the 12s. But yeah, the iPhone 12 has been announced with 4 new models. In the you're going to get the iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max. All 4 iPhone models will offer 5G, a faster A14 Bionic processor, and a sleek new design. Spoiler alert, they look like the iPhone 4. Just saying. That's what the design looks like to me.
Yeah, bigger version with the screen that goes to all the edges.
Yeah. Apple has updated the cameras too, with a better words are hard. Computational photography and a 7-elemental lens. To make the iPhone 12 tougher, there's a new ceramic shield glass that displays. Apple claims it's the toughest in the industry. And there's new MagSafe wireless charging system as well that's designed to make wireless charging a bit easier and faster. The Pro and the Pro Max will deliver a powerful camera system with better optical zoom, stainless steel design, LiDAR sensor for faster autofocus, but you're going to pay more for the features. So you can pre-order now. October 16th is the release date. Or you can pre-order October 16th. Sorry, you were going to ask?
I was going to say, have you heard the big controversy about it?
About the mag stuff?
No, about the iPhone 12. Apparently, it's not going to be packaged with an plug-in a wall adapter or headphones or earbuds. And so it's a more expensive phone with
less stuff,
less features.
Yeah, and so it comes out October 23rd, and like you said, it is missing those. Me as an Apple guy, I'm not excited about it. I know Mike texted me when it was done. He goes, well, I won't be upgrading. The magnet feature is not bad. My MacBook has it, and that's pretty cool. But
nice.
I already kind of found the annoyance of the last gen where everything's now USB-C.
Right.
And you have all these USB plugs, but the little C part is like, that's kind of the hard trick.
Yeah. Last time I traveled, I grabbed my cord, just the cord from the room for charging, threw it in my backpack, went down, and then realized I couldn't plug it into any of the little wall adapters because it wasn't USB-C.
Yeah. Found that problem out too with the earbuds. I was like, I have one USB-C charger in the house. So, but obviously this is not all about Apple. So we'll go on to entertaining news outside of the world. I just had to announce it. That was a big thing yesterday. AMC is hoping that their VOD deal with Universal could end up helping the theaters. So obviously back in July, they had a big falling out because Universal decided to release their movie VOD, premium VOD, made a ton of money. AMC was pissed, and they said they wouldn't play their movies. Well, they patched things up, got together, came up with the deal. So now their deal is films can play on the screen for about they could wait 17 days now before putting it on there. So it's a lot faster. So they're looking, let's see, the big one coming up is obviously The Croods, November 25th. Looks like a slasher comedy called Freaky on November 23rd, and Tom Hanks led News of the World December 25th. They're hoping now that Universal could pump their movies to them sooner so they can get them on demand. So they're hoping that it banks a ton of money for them, but other than that, we'll see.
Yeah, unless there's big changes that happen in the world, this is sort of going to be the way that things go.
Absolutely, and my segment flies quick. I got 3 minutes, so I'm gonna just go through this real quick. Tobey Maguire. Hurry! Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are now confirmed to join Spider-Man 3.
Say what?
Rumors broke, and now the reports are noting that Maguire and Garfield are going to appear in Spider-Man 3. There is obviously this is all going to set up to the Spider-Verse with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Not much is known about the new film, but the upcoming MCU project is expected to feature an array of villains, including Kraven the Hunter, Scorpion, Electro, and the Green Goblin. With the appearance of the Green Goblin, Spider-Man 3 is said to see the introduction of Oscorp and Nick Fury's Galactic Universe version of S.H.I.E.L.D. known as SWORD. So awesome things leaking out of the world of Marvel. That's for damn sure. And I like this news. I think it's going to be cool. Kirsten Dunst is also expected to be in there as Mary Jane. So.
Didn't you mention Dane DeHaan as well?
Dane DeHaan will be back as the Goblin. Well, because they killed off James Franco version, right?
They
Spider-Man
did, yeah.
3?
Yep.
Yeah. So
and obviously Willem Dafoe, so.
Yeah. No, Peter Parker. Okay. Okay, what do we got? 2 minutes. We'll stay in the world of movies, and then we'll move on to birthdays. So Scream 5 has been announced. That's coming along, and Kyle Gallner, I don't know who that is, but he's in the movie, and he says the sequel captures the spirit of the original film. It's going to have Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and it's going to be brought from the people that did last year's Ready or Not, which was a lot of fun. He said, I'll be the first one to say, like, oh gosh, it's another Scream movie. It's just, here's part 5. But let me tell you, after reading the script and getting it together, I think people are going to really love this. It's really close to the original. I think, this is the first one without Wes Craven behind it. But, Scream movies were always a lot of fun. So I think, it bodes well. You got the bulk of the original cast, but I think this might be the one where either Sid's the killer or maybe she needs to die. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I hope they do to Sid what they did to Drew Barrymore in the very first one, where she's in the opening
wouldn't that be
scene.
cool in the opening because you don't see it coming? You're like, cool, Neve Campbell's, that just happened.
And she's dead.
And she's gone. And speaking of almost dead, the segment's almost dead because it's almost out of time. So birthdays! It's my birthday! All right, 50 seconds to rip out these super duper birthdays. Usher, as Ludacris calls him, aka Usher, is 42. Stephen A. Smith, Mr. ESPN personality, 52. Jared Goff, Stacy's favorite quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams, is 25. Stacy Keibler, real tall and hot former wrestler, 41.
Legs for days.
Shaggy Too Dope of the Insane Clown Posse is 46. Joe Girardi, former coach of the Yankees, is 56. And Natalie Maines of the Dixie Chicks, or now just the Chicks, is 45. It is today's birthdays, and Halloween is upon us. That's your entertainment news.
Well, folks, that does it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it's Wednesday. We're going to go through Words Are Hard because words are hard. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. Now we are all over social media with many of you watching us right now on Facebook Live. Now, I can be reached on social media at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram at Kristian Fenix. Tony is available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, it is Wednesday, and one of our new recurring Wednesday segments is something we talk about quite often here. You know, we flub every once in a while, and it's something that we are calling Words Are Hard.
Inconceivable!
It is inconceivable. So, wanted to take a look at either the English language or, times where people just had trouble with words or the English language itself. And so today I'm running down a list of times where people had, individual people, had problems with a specific word. Sometimes it just either doesn't come out right, or you try typing it and it takes you 4 or 5 tries to get through it. So let's go ahead and go on through. For instance, you have this person who said, I feel like a science person. A sciencer? A scientist? A scientist? And the person replies back, you mean a scientist? And the original poster says, well, not my finest moment.
Yeah, no. What are you, a Scentsy person? You sell Scentsy?
And I don't know if you've ever done this, Tone.
Bill Nye the Scentsy guy?
Have you ever typed out a word, like a very common word, that after you're done typing it out, it just doesn't look right? You know it's right, but it doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right. That happens to me all the time.
I was going to say, sometimes I'll do that when I type tomorrow. I'm like, did I add an extra W? Did I add an extra R? But it's spelled right. It's just sometimes it looks weird, and I always seem to question myself when I type that in.
Well, it's tough when you have
such a common one.
Yeah, you have those double letters. Is it 2 M's? Is it 2 R's? What is it?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, and sometimes the phone doesn't always catch that, because if you spell it wrong like one time, sometimes it saves it in there.
Oh,
so
I hate
sometimes
that.
it'll revert, and I'm like, no, that's not right, because then it gives you that red line to tell you it's wrong, and you're like, yeah, I know this, man.
Well, moving on with somebody who had some trouble with a little bit of spelling on a word, trying to talk about martial arts, says, I'm going to do karate. Crate? How do you spell it? Kurati? Carrot? Kryat? Hiya! Of course.
Oh, yeah, come down to the Cobra Jojo. Because of the carrot top, we do the chop chop.
Is it a JoJo?
It's a JoJo. Because words are hard.
Words are hard. Hence the
I will
reason
chop
for the segment.
JoJo. Maybe go parappa the wappa on your ass.
Moving on, here's somebody else who struggled. They said, there's an F and ool outside. Oowl? Owl? Hool? Ool. How the F do you spell it? Hoot hoot. There's a hooter outside my window.
Hey, it's a nice set of hooters you got there.
Whoo. How many licks does it take to get... Oh, no, sorry, this is a family show.
1, 2, 3.
Crunch.
Hooray. Just, it never changed, you know? It's always 3.
This next one reminds me of our exchange in the morning. I usually text Tony about 7:30 my time here, just sort of make sure he's up. And it's usually a good morning bro, whatever it is. And so this person puts good morning, and the person replies back, Mormon, Normong, Mornong, Morning, Morning. Effing Christ, I had a stroke.
Yeah. It just reminds me, after you now said that, the commercial, I'm having a stroke. How are you today? I'm having a stroke.
It's funny. I've heard it a number of times now, and it never really hit me that was the guy's internal conversation. I was like, how dense is this guy that he just doesn't understand?
I didn't know that. You just explained it to me. I'm like, why isn't the friend not listening?
Right.
Mormon friend.
Moving on with words are hard. Person puts, it's okay. I respect your onion. Opoinon? Opion? Opinion could be a hard word to spell, but I don't think it's ever been confused with onion.
Yeah. Well, it is funny too, because these things too, like in a text sense, sometimes it auto-corrects the stuff before, like it tries to guess what you're doing, and then it spits that word, and it's like, no, why in the hell would you send that? So
yeah. And like you said, sometimes it'll put the wrong thing in. And because of that, I've sort of checked to make sure that it's putting the right one in. Or
right.
Every once in a while, I'll accidentally hit the space bar instead of one of the letters. So the word no, K-N-O-W, usually comes out as K space ow.
Yeah, I get that one too. K-ow. K-ow, chow.
Now, here's one that you can't blame on autocorrect. Person puts, I can't think of the word. What's the word for when a football team has a furry? Person puts, you mean a mascot? Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's a thing. I found this out in Nevada. My cousins told me that they are called furries. They like to dress up in animal costumes, and there's a fur con.
There is, yeah.
I go, what the hell's a furry? Is it a catapus? Throwback to yesterday.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a real thing.
She says it creeps her the hell out.
Me too. Yeah. Luckily,
she was frightened.
Yeah. Luckily, Jesse with the gorilla costume hasn't gotten any ideas, so
no,
we're safe.
Good, yes.
We're safe there. So, all right, moving on.
Those posts, by the way.
Moving on with words are hard. Person looking for the right word, they put cowboy boot Heelys. Person says, "Do you mean spurs?" Spurs. That's the word. Sometimes you know a somewhat description of it, but you don't quite know what the word is, for instance, there. Also, with misspellings, moving on, person puts, did you know I have atscama, etsma, ama, itsma, breathe not.
My name is Jeff.
And again, I don't know if it's autocorrect that's having the issues there, but it sounds like these are... unintentional, intentional inputs.
It is like idiocracy, right? Like some of these conversations. I feel bad for all my friends out there that I message. I always seem like I'm having a stroke or I'm drunk. It's voice text. It's awful. Well, it is awful punctuation. You just got to go with it.
You say awful. You say awful punctuation. I say no punctuation.
No punctuation. You can't read it. It's just like a wild ride. You're like,
I will get a 1 mile long text from Tony that's essentially just one long run-on sentence. And I get to decipher where the punctuation goes in.
I was going to say, I do it to you on purpose, though.
Good. All right, this next one is for our anime fans. Person puts, how's cowboy boob or whatever? Cowboy boop boob? Bee boob? Poop bean? Deep sue?
It's supposed to be
cowboy sneep snip?
Yeah. Cowboy boob boob.
Boom chakalaka. Cowboy sneep snip.
Sleep snip. Snip 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 of the lip.
Here's another somewhat common word that is often misspelled, and obviously when you're putting in text, it's not quite figuring out what you're putting in. Person puts, dinner is ready. Person replies, what's for dinner? They put sap, spa, spigyet, pag, spago, pogo-teddy, spag hit.
Pogo-teddy!
Pogo-teddy. A nice big
The cream of the crop!
Nice big bowl of pogo-teddy.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, person puts, he looks like a sassig. Person replies, sassig? They respond back, how do you spell sausage? Apparently they spelled it right the second time, but, you know, I think that's a whole other category on Pornhub, right?
Right. I was going to say, that's weird. Somebody looks like a sausage. It's just a random thing to say. Hey, that guy looks like a sausage. Oh, he looks like a dick? No, a sausage.
Yeah, a sassig.
Yeah, a sassig.
Moving on with words are hard. Person puts, I'm going to eat some surreal, serious, surreal, careless, milk with crunchy booze.
CC real.
White liquid with oats.
White liquid?
I think they mean milk. Hope they mean milk, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yowie wowie.
Oh, how about when you're going to the grocery store and you text to your person, you know, your significant other, something you might have missed? Well, this person put, we forgot teeth soap. Pretty sure they meant toothpaste. But you know what? Words are hard.
Oh, how hard is it to say toothpaste? Oh my gosh!
Hey.
I don't know. Hey, I got that thing. You know, you put it on a brush and you scrub. You know these things.
Hey, if you can't think of the word, you can't think of the word, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of not being able to think of the word, you know, there are the Pop-Tart people and the toaster strudel people. Person puts, I got some toaster strudel sauce on there. Person replies back, you mean icing? And the funny thing is, toaster strudel sauce is a lot more to type out than just the word icing.
Yeah. Why you make it harder? Sometimes people like to make things harder, you know?
Yep. Speaking of which, words are hard. Finally, as we go into the break, this is for all of our video game fans out there. Person puts, dead red mesh. Red Dead Mempt. Red Dead Redemption. F it. The cowboy game. You know what game they're talking about.
Yeah, if you say you play a cowboy game, if you're a gamer, yep.
Well, folks, that does it for this edition of Words Are Hard. When we come back, we have a segment called Relationship Goals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, Let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you? What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to americamatters. No, that's the old one. Wow. phoenixmedia.us.
Wow. Words are hard, man.
Click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart. About 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Now, in this segment, I wanted to talk about relationship goals. You know, it's one of those things where if you're in a relationship with somebody for a while, there's a certain level of comfort that you gain that really can't be described. You know, when a relationship is fresh, you know, you're doing everything you can to, you know, really be the best you and not really show the, I don't know, not the scary sides of your personality, but, you know, not get too comfortable right away. Tony being our resident bachelor, you know, obviously he's in the stage of life where, you know, he's setting up dates and, you know, going out and experiencing the newness of relationships. You know, I've been in a relationship for 5 years and, you know, getting ready to get married and couldn't imagine anything better, but there is a certain level of comfort, again, that you just can't describe. So wanted to go through some of those things that happen when you reach that point in a relationship that I think everybody strives to have, regardless of how awkward the conversation might be. Tony, I know you were previously married. Anything come to mind as far as level of comfort that you wouldn't necessarily do on a fresh date or somebody that you've just recently started seeing?
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't rip ass in front of a girl on the first date, you know. You either save that and don't do very much around your spouse, or there are some dudes that get so comfortable they could give two shibs and they just
let it fly.
You know?
I pooped my pants.
Yeah. I think you could even get to a comfy spot where you could tell your girl that you pooped your pants. You know, that's definitely not something you do on the first date.
No.
You can guarantee if you rip ass on the first date, your ass is grass. You might get a chuckle, but you're probably gonna go bye-bye.
Save it for the third date at least.
Yeah.
Well, here's a list of people who
parts are funny though. I ain't gonna lie.
Have that level of comfort. And speaking of which, Tony, that first one, a wife who keeps her husband updated on the important things. She sends her husband a message, says, "Just farted while I sneezed, but I'm wearing earplugs, so I don't know if it was audible to anyone else."
Oh, that's funny. Hey, if you feel comfy to tell your significant other that's pretty impressive. And it goes along the lines of, I pooped my pants.
It's a fair question too. You know, if you've got headphones in, earplugs in, you don't know quite how loud anything you do is. You know, just it goes to show that, you know, if you start yelling at somebody when you've got earphones in or headphones on, That might have been a loud one. So in any case, let's move on to the next one. A wife who gets really worried when her husband takes a little too long running errands. She says, and it's just a series of text messages. Did you die? Do I need to send a rescue squad? Flush yourself down the Esser? Should I be worried? Will we ever have children if you're stuck in a Home Depot bathroom? Will I find myself another man, I guess? Home myself out at Home Depot? Apparently they really like Home Depot.
Yeah, well, yeah. They are definitely not Lowe's people.
No.
She's really concerned about laying that lumber.
Well, it makes you wonder. Euphemisms.
Bazinga.
It makes you wonder how long of a time transpired between each of these text messages too.
Yeah.
And
was it like 5 seconds though? Like she a stage 5 clinger? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why don't you call me? What are you thinking about? Why is the sky blue? Why don't you just shut the hell up?
And to be fair, Jessie is a she loses her phone every once in a while, or it stays in her purse, and sometimes it's a little bit harder to get a hold of her, especially if she, goes over to her sister's house or her dad's house and, trying to reach out and nothing. And so I'll try once, I'll give it about 15 minutes, try again, give it about 10 minutes, try again. But there's been times where I've been legitimately concerned that she was a Ford. Little call back to Monday there, Tom.
Yeah, at least she's not in the shop for like 2 months. And if you guys don't know what Ford is, found on Road Dad.
Exactly. All right, let's move on with relationship goals and a level of comfort. You have this wife whose sarcastic response is no help at all. The husband puts, I'm starting a conference call, so if you come home, please be quiet, and if the dogs bark, do not yell at them. It's almost like I sent this one. She replies back, I'm going to scream, F you, you little butt Fs. Is that cool?
That's always cool. I mean,
especially if you're on a conference call for work,
language,
potential client, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
It's been interesting being out of the home studio now. I'm home. Jesse's working from home. We've got 3 dogs who that, if the FedEx guy comes and drops off a package, they start losing their minds. Knock on wood, they haven't done it yet during this show. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. There you go. Moving on with relationship goals, you have this wife who has just stepped into the modern world, and she likes it here. She gives a middle finger, as Tony did earlier. Said, I had no idea there was a middle finger emoji, followed by a series of middle finger emojis. She responds back, it's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of emojis that didn't quite know existed, and of course they add new ones each year. You get the devil horns. I use that one quite often. You do have the middle finger emoji. The odd thing is they got rid of the gun emoji and replaced it with a squirt gun.
Yeah, I think that's lame.
Yeah.
You still have bombs, knives, crossbones. I mean, you could add emojis are fun, but I think the get rid of the gun one was kind of stupid. I mean, it's a little animation character thing.
Yeah. What I find is there are times that I'm looking for a specific emoji guaranteed to be there, and of course you come across the fact that it's not. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you always hope that they release something like that. All right, moving on with relationship goals, Tony, and again, depending on how far you are into the relationship, has sexting ever been a thing for you?
Not really. I mean, it's just kind of, I guess if you're trying to keep things spicy and you have a long distance relationship, then yeah, you could have like some dirty talk amongst. I don't know about the whole. I don't know. I'm just not. I guess that's not for me. Or maybe I just haven't done that.
Maybe you haven't found the right sexting
partner.
You
got. Maybe it just depends on your partner. I mean, if they're super sexual and very open about that, I mean, I've dated a girl like that before, and it's just for me. I'm rather in person. I'm not a prude or anything. I'm definitely not Mr. Proper outside of the show all the time. So the sexting thing's a little different.
All right, fair enough.
It's for a lot of people. Now, That could be a whole other topic for a whole other day.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just going to stop.
I think we can go there at some point. But,
some point.
With a certain comfort level and relationship goals, you have this wife who might not be totally clear on the concept of sexting. The husband writes, "You wearing a thong?" Her response back, "No, I'm wearing full Spanx with pantyhose over it. It's like I'm wearing a human sausage casing." Whew. That gets me all hot and bothered.
That gets you good. I thought you were going to say you sent like a Richard pic. Hey, girl, how does this look?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to be careful with those pics. You never know who's going to end up with them. And then, of course, there's always that fear that you text to the wrong person. So be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say we had a friend that she received one before they even dated. I think they just started talking. Like they were like, "Hi, my name is," and "My name is," and then it's like, "Hey,
Slim
check this out." Yeah, you sent a picture of Slim Shady. I advise it not good. She showed her mom.
Don't do it. And you.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, I wish I didn't see it.
All right. Moving on with relationship goals. You have this wife who feels most alive when she's pregnant, writes to her husband, "I started fighting with stupid people on the internet again. I think it's these pregnancy hormones. It's kind of making me feel alive." It's easy to pick internet fights. And
trolls,
nowadays, you don't have to go far to do it. And there are people who specifically seek out to do that. Don't let that be you.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. I've actually only been in one. I don't seek that out. I had a guy that I don't even know comment on a picture of me and my aunt, and we both had masks on because obviously you have to wear masks. That just happened to be where we took a picture. And he called us sheep, and it pissed me off. So I unloaded on him. I started out nice. It was a nice PG-13 conversation that quickly went to R-rated.
Gotcha.
And aggressive, yeah.
And did he respond back? Was there give and take on that?
I got, my aunt told me, she knows the person. She's like, "You're not going to win. Just walk away."
Fair enough.
So it's good to just turn the cheek. After I'd already it just pissed me off. I don't know. But there are people that thrive off of it, though, man. They love it. They love to get the other person riled.
They do.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, as we head into our long break, we have this relationship goal that actually merges with our words from our hard segment from the last segment.
Ha! You said segment.
I did.
Boom shakalaka!
Wife writes, "I'm a mess today. My left shoulder is killing me, and my back hurts, and I haven't even gotten on the plane yet." He responds back, "Take some Tylenol at the airport. I'll run gravy on you." Tiger Balm. I meant Tiger Balm. She responds back, "Gravy?" So, hey.
And then give her the sausage casing.
There you go. That's a level of comfort for you. In any case, we are headed into the long break, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in about 7 minutes with our call-in topic of clever, scary movie moments. Don't go anywhere.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Tighter COVID-19 restrictions are being introduced in a series of European countries as confirmed cases rise. The Netherlands is imposing a month-long partial lockdown. French President Emmanuel Macron is due to outline new measures later. Northern Ireland's also announced a partial lockdown with schools closing for 2 weeks. A new 3-tier system of COVID-19 rules has started in England. Benji Hire reports from London.
The region around Liverpool in the northwest of England is currently the only area under the strictest limits, with pubs and bars closed unless meals are served there, and household mixing is not permitted indoors either. But just hours before these rules came into force in Liverpool, police were forced to disperse large crowds in the city centre. Meanwhile, ministers in Wales are planning very seriously for a short lockdown known as a circuit breaker. That's the sort of policy being backed by the leader of the opposition Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer. And in Northern Ireland, schools will close from next week.
On the US election campaign trail, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden accused President Trump of seeing senior voters as expendable in his handling of COVID-19. The president's told thousands of supporters in Pennsylvania he feels like Superman after his own treatment for coronavirus. As winter rolls in, Delhi's air quality is deteriorating drastically. The air quality index has dropped to its lowest in 8 months. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Many with respiratory issues are taking extra precautions due to the pandemic. New Delhi's morning turned hazy this week as seasonal crop burning started in several parts of North India. Experts say the smoke this year will be worse than previous years. And as the Hindu festive season nears, bursting firecrackers will also become more common, worsening the air quality further. Long-term exposure to air pollution kills over 1 million people in India every year, but many allege that the government is still not taking the issue seriously. Authorities say they are working on a graded response action plan which will help aid the problem in the next few weeks.
A Soyuz capsule has launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome carrying a crew to the International Space Station. It could be the last time an American astronaut is transported to space using Russian technology. Julia Chapman reports.
Since 2011, Russia has held a monopoly over transporting humans to the ISS. But earlier this year, Elon Musk's SpaceX successfully delivered a crew to the station. Kate Rubins could be the last American launched in a Russian Soyuz capsule, a journey which costs NASA some $90 million. She took off with Russian cosmonauts Sergei Ryzhikov and Sergei Kudzverchkov from Kazakhstan's Baikonur Cosmodrome on Wednesday. The Soyuz program has been the cornerstone of Russian-American cooperation in space. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
There goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
And welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Tony. Sam Filippo, has that Zip Fizz kicked in for you yet?
Coral! Yep, it sure did, Coral.
And then...
little pep in the step.
On the break, did you get a chance to make yourself a smoothie as well?
You know me, man. Look at that.
Aw, yeah.
Back when the Broncos were good, too. United in orange, yeah.
We can still be united in orange, just
Those were the days, man.
Just for the number one pick.
Yeah, no, feel good. Feeling great. Fast hour, and here we go. Hour 2.
Yep, we got a full hour ahead of you. Lots of good fun stuff. Now, it is the interactive portion of the show. This is where we want you guys to chime in. The way that the call-in topics have been working recently, if you're not up to it or up to speed on it, I'm telling you, words are hard today.
They are.
We are putting the topic out the day before, giving you guys a chance to call in on the Fenix Line. That's 855-FENIX-RADIO, 855-336-4973, to chime in at any point during the day. So you don't have to be listening right now to call in. But we do ask that you call, leave a message for the next day's topic. Of course, you could chime in for this one. It's just it won't be played the next day. You can also chime in on the comments section of our live video. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click on the live video there and just comment in that box. Now, our topic today is clever, scary movie moments. There's horror movies, both from low budget to high budget. We were talking about Scream 5 in the entertainment news. But the best horror movies are ones that have little bits and pieces that you don't quite see coming. Obviously, the biggest example would be The Sixth Sense. That was M. Night Shyamalan's breakthrough movie. You have Haley Joel Osment, I See Dead People. And spoiler alert, you find out he's been dead the whole time. If you go back and rewatch it, you'll notice that all of the interactions that Bruce Willis has with other living people in the world, it makes sense why they're not listening to him, why they don't see him. He sits in the restaurant where he and his wife were having an anniversary, and she's sad, and it just looks like she's ignoring him, but she's actually sad because he's dead. So that's what we're talking about, clever, scary movie moments. Now, Tony,
I don't know what the hell that face was I made, but there you go.
When I posed this question, I know you had to give it some thought. What did you come up with your favorite scary movie moment? Clever.
I go back for clever more than like shocking, but I find that Wes Craven's New Nightmare was very clever in a lot of ways. One of the big things is, obviously, when you see the previews, you just think, oh crap, it's another Nightmare on Elm Street. How the hell did they bring Nancy back? But the fact that they took their real life characters, they played Heather Langenkamp, Robert Englund, and John Saxon, and all these people, they played themselves, and they just reunited and they reminisced about being in Nightmare on Elm Street, and they talked about it, only to realize that Freddy was so popular that he needed to be his own entity and became his own character. So then he terrorizes Heather Langenkamp's kid, but she's forced to play the role of Nancy again to take out Freddy. I thought that whole premise was really cool. It was dark. It was creepy for an Elm Street movie.
It was.
That goes back, and that's what really made me think. It was fantastic. One of my favorites.
Yeah, and you mentioned creepy for an Elm Street movie. You know, Freddy's always been sort of this, not a cheeseball character, but he likes making jokes. In New Nightmare, he was downright
Hear it from you, Carlos.
He was downright scary. I mean, that was a legit freaky movie. And Wes Craven is fantastic as far as crafting stories. Just look at the original Scream. My pick is a recent movie we just came across over the weekend on Netflix. It's a movie called Eli, starring Lily Taylor. You may remember her from House on Haunted Hill. And then has the redhead girl from Stranger Things in it, essentially playing the same character that she's in Stranger Things.
She's, instead of Barb, she's
not Barb, but the new girl from season 2.
Okay.
The girl who moves to town. But essentially in this movie, Eli, this kid is brought into this special hospital type setting because he's essentially allergic to the entire world. Has to live in a bubble. If he goes out into the air, he starts getting these sores, can't breathe. And so they go in and try to cure him. Well, as things move on and things progress, spoiler alert, if you were planning on seeing this, I would mute it now and then come back in about 30 seconds. But you find out that Lily Taylor is really a nun of a church that is trying to get rid of the Antichrist. And you find out that this kid is a spawn of the devil, and that they're trying to essentially either cure him from that evil or end up killing him in the end. And I thought that was a neat, clever twist that you don't see too often, where the protagonist essentially becomes the antagonist at the end. So that's what we're looking for. We are looking for clever, scary movie moments. Feel free to chime in now on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just go to the live video and comment in there. And of course, you can always leave a message on the Fenix Line after the fact, which we will play later. Now, folks, we are headed into the break. When we come back, it's all about you guys and your picks, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Woo.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? that it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take, you would of course prepare. You would talk with your loved ones and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad.
The Storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know!
I know!
You don't! Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No! Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And welcome back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. We are smack dab in the middle of our call-in topic of your favorite clever, scary movie moment. Speaking of scary, I don't know what that little dance was you were doing, Tone.
Do you like scary movies? I don't know. I'm getting amped up, man. I'm moving the blood in my legs, you know. I have to sit on my fat ass for 2 hours, so I got to move every once in a while.
I like it. I do the opposite. I have to stand during the show, and then I sit down during the breaks because my back just can't take it.
I would stand. I would, but then, like, all you would see is the shirt, and it would just look weird, so...
Fair enough.
It's easier to rock back and forth in a squeaky chair and stare at you all.
Well, for the topic, folks, we invite you to chime in on our comment section of the live video. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click on the live video and comment in there. Now, before we get to the list, Tony, has anybody chimed in on your end as far as their favorite clever, scary movie moment?
You know, surprisingly, nobody. Yeah, there's no one on my live feed. There's no text. And, you know, from our normal listeners, I'm a little surprised, but no, nothing.
Interesting. Well, that's why we pull up a list to help supplement when folks aren't chiming in. But we always appreciate you guys, whether you're listening, chiming in or not. You know, maybe you're in your car and you're screaming at your phone. I was going to say your radio, but you can't listen to us over the air. You're listening to us on the web. But yeah, always feel free to chime in. But let's go ahead.
Web of lies.
Let's go ahead and go down the list.
Do you want to play a game?
Tony, have you seen the movie Get Out? That was the Jordan Peele movie. That was his first.
Oh yeah, I did. Where they, he's with his white girlfriend, and they go to or she brings him to the plantation or something like that. Yeah.
Great movie. Jordan Peele, who you know from Key and Peele, that was his first outing.
I know why this is on the list, and I agree with it.
Okay. So
definitely different.
Says here, maybe on your fourth viewing of Get Out, you realized a hidden detail that your friends never noticed before, and it actually made your jaw drop. For example, when Chris saw Georgina fixing her bangs in the reflection of the window, she was actually making sure her lobotomy scar wasn't showing. That's the same reason Walter was never shown without a hat on. Is that something you picked up right away, Tone, or is that something that...
No, I didn't see any of that coming until the end. I was just like, man, they just don't like this guy because he's black. They're very racist. But that was not the case.
No, they were just trying to harvest the bodies. It's almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
So weird how they, like, that's how they stayed alive. Like, they didn't want to die, so they had to keep planting their brains in the next body. Super weird movie.
Right. Great original idea, though. Love it.
Yes.
Here's a movie we were talking about a little bit earlier, at least the first iteration of it. Perhaps there was really specific dialogue that you originally thought was a throwaway line, but then you learned how important it was later on, and it was actually pretty genius. When Ghostface asks Casey, Drew Barrymore, which door he's at, it seems like she has a 50% chance of escaping. But when you finish the movie, you realize there are two killers, so it doesn't really matter which door she chooses. She's going to die either way. This moment is super diabolical because it gives Casey and the viewers hope for survival, and only the killers know her true fate.
That's crazy. I got one. Stacy was able to sneak away from work for a sec to chime in.
Right on.
She said, House of a Thousand Corpses. They made a play on kidnapped cheerleaders and them killed, and then they were dressed like them. I mean, way to pull in some old school gore with some new school ideas.
Yeah, that was a freaky movie. Rob Zombie's first, and there's a couple movies that have spawned off of that, but Chris Hardwick was in that. I totally forgot about that.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, wasn't he the one who was chained up to the chair at the end, and they were doing something to his brain? Or am I confusing that with Hannibal and Ray Liotta?
No. Well, I don't know. They did do that to your buddy Ray and Hannibal, though. So.
All right. Moving on with clever, scary movie moments. Tony, did you ever see the movie Hereditary?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I hadn't seen it based on, and of course I asked you if you've ever seen it. I just remember now that you told me not to see it, so I haven't.
Yeah, it just, to me, it was just like The Witch. It was this overhyped movie. It was really weird, but yeah, I saw it.
So this one may make sense to you, doesn't make sense to me because I haven't seen it, but it says, maybe you watched Hereditary and noticed that the movie in the background of the party featured a scene with a guillotine foreshadowing Charlie's unexpected decapitation. Does that make sense to you, Tom?
That does make sense, yeah, because, like, so Charlie was the ugly little sister, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, because I guess she really looks like that in real life. I thought it was a mask, but so I feel bad on that, and I'm not trying to sham, but like the little sister, I'm like, she's like the annoying little ugly sister that went to this party. The brother's trying to make out with this girl, and I don't remember the guillotine scene in the background, so that's very clever. Because, like, when she's leaving, she's like, I can't breathe. Like, so they fed her alcohol, and she got drunk, and then he's like, you peek out the window, because he didn't want to get in trouble by his mom.
Okay.
And she's out, as they're driving, spoiler alert, she's puking, because she's getting sick, while he's yelling at his sister to, to make sure that her head's outside to puke, and then as he's driving, there's a mailbox, and bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And then he killed his little sister in that movie, and then she comes back, and then it gets weird. But poor girl, man, she's just an ugly kid. Man.
I may go back and check it out.
That.
Yeah. No, it's funny you mentioned you thought she was wearing a mask and it ended up being her face.
I feel bad, yeah, man, because I don't like to be mean.
Yeah. One of the most clever television shows that has ever existed is a show from the 60s called, you may have heard of it, The Twilight Zone. And I love The Twilight Zone. It's something that gives me fond memories of Thanksgiving of all days. One of the local stations would do a Twilight Zone marathon on Thanksgiving, and I just would sit down and watch it. And of course you get, the big ones that come out of there. You've got the Last Man on Earth who, he loves reading. He comes across a library, and then he ends up stepping on his glasses and is doomed to live the rest of his life not doing the one thing he loves. You have How to Serve Man, which is the aliens. And of course, everybody thinks that, the aliens are there to help the people. What they don't realize is How to Serve Man is actually their cookbook. Or you have the most famous, which is the William Shatner, which is a nightmare at 30,000 feet, 40,000 feet, whatever it is. Where he sees
the gremlin one?
Yeah, he sees the gremlin on the wing. There's something on the wing. Gotta love Shatner.
I must stop Gizmo, Kaka.
But my favorite Twilight Zone episode is called The Masks. And it's about this family of, they're basically the heirs to this fortune. They come to celebrate New Year's on New Year's Eve. And the patriarch of the family makes them all wear a mask and basically says that you won't inherit any of my money until you wear this mask till midnight. And so you think, okay, that's innocent enough. And each mask represents each of the family members' faults, whether it's vanity or greed or lust or gluttony or whatever. It falls along the 7 deadly sins.
7. Yeah, whatever.
Well, coming to midnight, as soon as midnight hits, the patriarch dies. They all think that they've earned all of this money. But when they take off the masks, their faces are formed to what the masks were, and they're destined to live the rest of their rich lives with these faces, these ugly faces, which I thought was just a brilliantly clever move for a show that, back in the 60s, most shows weren't that clever.
Yeah, no, that's very clever. How they do that. Twilight Zone had some crazy stuff too.
Yeah.
I was thinking while you were saying that mask, what's pretty clever for modern day television, even though it's based all out of the comic, is The Walking Dead and The Whisperers. Mm-hmm. Like how they get around to terrorize the fan favorites in the show. They simply wear the masks of the walkers, and that's how they get around with the hordes. That's how their group has survived. And granted, they're evil in the show, that they're there strictly to cause chaos and terror, but they control the narrative with the walkers because they're actually wearing their skins. So it's clever, creepy take.
Frank Darabont, who was the original showrunner for season 1, is great at crafting these stories. He did the movie The Mist with Thomas Jane, and it essentially became a movie about what's scarier, the monsters outside, like the true monsters, or the people inside, the monsters inside, the religious zealots and people who are freaking out about the end of the world. And it is sort of this give and take between, do we go outside and try to survive, or do we stay in here and try to survive? And ultimately, nobody survives, aside from Thomas Jane. But again, spoiler alert.
Punisher, the OG, well, not the OG Punisher. That was
Dolph Lundgren. Yep.
Yeah.
But in any case, folks, that does it for our topic of clever, scary movie moments. Folks, when we come back, we have a segment called Say What? Stewie does it better. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open. Don't speak with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, When Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th. Now, we mention it a couple times each show. It's the Fenix Line, 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to call in, chime in on anything you'd like. You can tell us we're being too goofy. You can tell us just how hard words are, or you can chime in on our call-in topic that we had in the last segment, which were clever, scary movie moments. One thing I forgot to give you guys is tomorrow's call-in topic. We do want to hear from you, so call in at any point today so we can get you on the air tomorrow. Tomorrow's call-in topic is the best haunted house attraction you've ever visited. I think Tony and I might have the same one based on a certain concert that we've gone to, but I don't know. I love haunted houses. Some are more extreme than others.
Yeah.
But that's the way it goes. And everybody has their favorite. But we're talking strictly attractions, not a real haunted house that you lived in or anything along those lines. That might just be a topic for another day. So in any case, give us a call, Fenix Line. That is 855-FENIX-RADIO, 855-FENIX-RDO, or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. Leave the message, keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together and put them out in a future show. And if you comment on the best haunted house attraction, you will get on tomorrow.
That's good, yeah. And what's good now is after the fact, man, Stacy came up with a ton of them for the last segment, but it's too late. The segment's over now, but some good stuff. I'll have to, we'll find a way to get it maybe on the Fenix Line or something.
Exactly. Stacy, you can always call the Fenix Line, and, we'll play it either at some point or for the future show.
So many good ones.
Tony, being in retail, sorry, I'm pivoting here.
Pivot!
Being in retail,
frankly,
I'm sure that you overhear quite a few things. And so this next segment, which we're calling Say What? Is talking about times where people have overheard some of the more strange things to come along. Tony, between members, between employees, anything you've overheard that comes to mind that really made you stop and think, or you had to backtrack and almost get some clarification?
Yeah, you hear a lot of random stuff. And, when you're walking the floor pulling boxes, you typically hear people, the common one, since I work towards the back in the sundries area, the common thing is like, damn it, Bill, I'm looking for the Clorox wipes. I know they had them here yesterday, and I was looking for them. And I don't know, Jill, they're always around here somewhere. They always move the damn crap here at this store. I hate it. So I hear, that's a common one I hear. But one time there was a girl talking about how she was making out with her boyfriend and she's like, he just tasted awful. She's like, just the way he smelled funny when I was, and I was sucking on his tongue, and I was just like, what the hell?
Yummy!
That was probably one of the more weirder ones I could recall hearing. It's just this girl. She had her headset in, and she was just openly talking about how gross that this guy she made out with was. So
well, and I mean, you've got the earbuds in right now. I can't tell you how many times I've thought somebody's talking to me, but they're really talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Is it a schizo, or is it someone with a Bluetooth?
All right. So going through our list of
Say what?
Here are some conversations that are overheard during Uber rides. For instance, you have a girl who enters the car with a yoga mat. The driver asks, "Going to yoga?" Passenger says, "No, I carry this to my office on days I look like crap so that everyone assumes I just worked out." That's actually a pretty clever life hack.
That is a good life hack. That's a little extreme, but hey, if it works, it works.
Tony, here's one for
Say what?
That on your next date, make sure you don't let this be you. Person says, "How was your date?" Other person responds, "I played my own drinking game where I took a drink every time he mentioned his podcast. I don't remember a lot."
Oh, yeah. Okay. Note to self. Less is more. I'm told that all the time. So mention podcasts 99.9% of the time. Just that 0.1 will make it successful.
You can mention it once. Just don't over and over again.
No.
Moving on.
Say what?
First person says, "I've lived in New York my whole life. What's it like growing up in a small town?" The response, "It's like being in a group chat you never asked to be a part of." That's a good point.
That's a very good point. Yeah, sometimes you get roped into those and it's too much.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up all over the country, but, landed in Carson City. Carson City is a small town, but where I lived beforehand in New York, I mean, you couldn't fart and people would know exactly what had happened. It's scary.
Yeah, super big. I can relate growing up in Carson City and then moving to like Denver. I mean, huge. Now it's a town I live in, smaller than Denver, but it's still way bigger than Carson City. So,
Fair enough. Moving on.
Say what?
Here's one that, Tony, if you ever get to marriage 3, might be overheard by the wife, but
I didn't even do marriage 2.
I know. Says, "As my dad was walking me down the aisle of my 3rd wedding, he goes, 'Aaron, I keep giving you away, but they keep giving you back.'" Fair point.
Ooh.
Fair point.
Yeah. That's why I don't know if I ever did it again. 2, because 3, then you start have to wondering that you're the problem. It's kind of like dating when you're almost 40. Why are you dating? You're almost 40.
Hey,
Still because, man. Someone actually, one of my friends told me, they're like, "Well, you wait for the right one. You're just being picky," which is not a bad thing. And I'm like, or I don't really go out much, so.
You deserve to be picky.
Yeah. No, I am going to be picky,
All right.
I could settle. I just don't want to.
Let's move on with our next one.
Say what?
Tony, if you ever take an Uber or Lyft, are you the type of person who likes to chat with the driver, sit in silence, pretend like you're sitting in silence and put your earbuds in and, listen to music? What is your Uber etiquette?
I try to be very nice. I try to, I want them to, I'm a chatty guy in general. I don't like to engage in too much conversation, but just the cordial, like, "Hey, how's your day going?" Not like what's your life stuff. Like I said, my last Uber ride guy, if he ever ends up being famous rapper, at least rode in the back of this thing. He told me a lot about his stuff.
I assume there's a lot of famous would-be rappers, screenwriters, artists, authors. That just seems to be the cliche with it. But in this case, you have the driver say to the passenger, "Hey, you," and it's cut off by the passenger who says, "I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but do you mind if we ride in silence? I'm not really social." Driver responds, "It's okay, me neither. I just wanted to let you know that your hair is stuck in the car door." So before you dismiss your driver, at least make sure that your hair's not going to be ripped out the second they take off.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope. It's just the cordial conversation, kind of like when you're getting your hair cut. Just the cordial, nothing too much.
All right, moving on with...
Say what?
Tony, with Uber, have you ever done Uber Pool, where it's multiple different pickups? You're basically a passenger with another passenger that you don't know.
Yeah, I've been a part of that a few times.
Has this ever happened to you? One passenger says, "You look amazing." The other one says, "Thanks. A girl in my Uber Pool French braided my hair, sprayed me with rose water, and told me I'm a queen."
Oh, yeah, that happens on every time I've gone. No.
They always braid your hair and...
Yeah, well, all this hair going on, yeah, you can braid that, man. Yeah.
It's funny. It reminds me, Jessie is the type of person who makes friends anywhere she goes. And there's been times where, I've picked her up from the airport when she's out traveling. And as she's leaving, she's talking with somebody, having a super friendly conversation, almost like they've been friends for years. And I'll ask her, "Hey, is that somebody on your flight that you knew?" She's like, "No, we just met on the flight. And that was my seatmate. And we got to know each other, and we're doing lunch next week."
That's impressive.
That's not me.
I'm a social dude, but I usually don't go that far. I'm actually more quiet and reserved when it comes to the travel part. I'm usually to myself at that point.
I'm the same way. I put the headphones on and don't bother me. I'll take them off to get my drink or my snack from the flight attendant, but that's it. I don't want to strike up a conversation.
It's funny, the host of the Kristian Fenix radio shows, man, we're just antisocial at airports.
Well, I think it's because we spend most of the day talking anyway, that when we get to a place like that, we don't want to do more talking. Speaking of talking, overheard conversations with...
Say what?
Person says, "I'm sober enough to know I'm being annoying, and what I'm saying is dumb, but drunk enough to not be able to stop talking. So sorry for that." I think we've all been to that sort of fine line of drunkenness where you're being stupid, but you know what? You're just going to keep rambling on.
Yeah, every time for me. Saturday night's a good example of that. So.
All right. So moving on with the next one. Hit that button a little bit early. Here's one that they either were drunk or just unclear on the concept. The driver says, "Please put your seatbelt on before I start driving." Oh, this explains it. The drunk passenger says, "Oh my God, of course. I hope there's no turbulence." Driver responds, "This is a car."
Oh, God.
And I don't know if I mentioned it, but there was a period of time that I drove Uber and Lyft, and I did the late...
I forgot you did that.
Yeah, I did the late night ones, and there were some crazy things to come out of it. That might be a good call-in topic for the future.
I like it. Note it. It's got to be crazy. I have one. I have a doozy of one. She will remain nameless, but damn, it was a doozy.
We'll share that at a future point in time.
Yeah, I like it.
And then finally, as we head into the break, here's one that, you've texted the wrong person on accident. Well, in this case, that person was right there with them. It says, 4 guys enter a car after saying goodbye to a group of friends. The guy in the front seat says, "Oh, I'm so effing glad Luke went home." Luke replies, "I'm back here, you dumbass." I wonder if they were friends after that.
Yeah, it's typically, if you're tight with friends, you usually don't say that. So.
No.
Like, I can never tell you a time where I've said that about one of my friends. I'm always very happy to see them all. So.
Exactly.
Now, when I go, it might be a little too much, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, go."
Oh, we did that when you left the house. Damn, Tony.
You son of a bitch.
All right, folks. Well, that does it for Say What. When we come back, we're heading into the last segment of the day. You know what that means. It's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you? What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. It is the fourth and final segment of this show. It is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show, Wednesday, October 14th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the shows, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. Click on there, and from there you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Oh, good one. James Hetfield brought on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man today.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because, why, Tony?
Sharing is caring. Yeah, I'm having a stroke. What? I'm having a stroke. Huh?
I almost stepped on your toes with that one. Did it myself. Well, folks, it is the final segment of the show, and we like to drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh as well. It is This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thank you, Siri. All right, kicking off this day in history, this date in 1066, the Norman invasion of England, the Battle of Hastings. William the Conqueror and his Norman army defeat the English forces of Harold II, who was killed in battle. I would like to think that if Kumar was there, it might have fared differently.
Right.
Moving on this date in 1322, Robert the Bruce of Scotland defeats King Edward II of England at Byland, forcing Edward to accept Scotland's independence. And Robert the Bruce, if you're a fan of Braveheart, you'll remember his character in there.
Yeah, all I heard in that was Robert, England, Freddy Krueger. What's with kids today, Carlos?
Not the same.
I know.
Speaking of Scotland, though, this day in 1586,
Scotland.
Mary, Queen of Scots, goes on trial for conspiracy against Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah, the Mary Queen of Scots, yeah.
Yeah, not Miss Elizabeth, but
Miss Elizabeth, yeah. Looking at her.
Those royals were always stabbing each other in the back, either
Yeah,
literally
they were
or figuratively.
savages.
Oh,
No pun intended with the Randy Savage impersonation, but yeah, we were nuts back then.
I got
Probably
news
still
for you.
nuts now. I don't know.
I know. If you watch any of the election coverage, we're pretty nuts now. But
Yeah, this is true.
we're non-political. We won't go there. Moving on.
Super bad, kryptonite.
This day in 1884, George Eastman patents the paper strip photographic film. Again, he was the founder of Kodak. One of the reasons we're able to do what we're doing today. You know, Tony is all the way out in Colorado. I'm here in Nevada, and we're able to connect over Zoom, which is just an evolution of where the early photography has taken us. So thank you, George Eastman.
Yeah, also thank you, Peter Eastman and Kevin Laird, for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think it's Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I say Peter Eastman?
You flipped them around.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Wow.
Little
Those are hard.
dyslexic this morning. All right.
You're right. You get a...
Good job.
And I get a...
My name's Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. Trying to keep you on your toes, Tony. This day in 1892, author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Do you know what book he published? I know you recognize the name, but can you associate it with the book?
No, I can't.
Arthur Conan Doyle publishes The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a collection of 12 stories originally published serially in the Strand magazine. So any iteration of Sherlock Holmes that you've enjoyed over the years, whether it's Benedict Cumberbatch or Robert Downey Jr., ironically two MCU heroes, you have Arthur Conan Doyle to thank for it.
Thank you, Sherlock. Yeah, here's a little pipe. Yeah. Elementary, dear Watson. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is that a lot of those tropes for Sherlock Holmes, whether it's the pipe, the hat, it's
monocle.
elementary, frankly, my dear Watson, none of those were in the original books. Those were a creation of the early television series that was created for it.
Oh. That's fascinating to know. I pooped my pants.
I'm telling you, we're dropping knowledge and hopefully making you laugh at the same time.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Here's another author for you, Tony. This day in 1926, A.A. Milne's book. What's the book, Tone?
A.A. Milne's?
Mm-hmm. What book did he write?
Probably a real famous book.
He did.
That I don't know.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, man. Winnie the Pooh.
I know where your mind's going, Tony.
Yeah.
So we'll just move on. This day in 1930.
Just like Winnie the Pooh.
George Gershwin and Ira Gershwin's musical...
Gershwin.
It doesn't...
Hey there. Hey, it's Gersh time with Patrick Mahomes here. Hey, why don't you just tell the story about Gersh?
It doesn't take much to amuse you, Tone. That's why I love doing this show with you. Anyway, their musical Girl Crazy, starring Ginger Rogers and Ethel Merman, premieres in NYC. New York City, for those of you who didn't figure that out.
Yeah. I have two daughters. This is Ethel and Gersh.
Ermigerd. Let's move on. This day in 1957, the Everly Brothers' Wake Up Little Susie reaches #1. I know you've heard that
song. I didn't know they sang that one. Yeah, they do the Dream. Or is that the Isley Brothers? No, it's the Everly Brothers.
It's one of those brothers.
Yeah, you know. Now I got Vanessa Shaw back in my mind from Ladybugs.
Right on. A little callback to yesterday.
Woohoo!
All right, moving on with this day in history. This day in 1957, Queen Elizabeth II becomes the first Canadian monarch to open the Parliament of Canada with the speech from the throne. And so...
Queen Elizabeth, yeah, you little monarch butterfly of Canada, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
don't
realize that Canada was a territory of England for a long time before gaining their independence. Right. Couldn't tell you when that was, but yeah. All right.
Dropping knowledge on the Phoenix show, yeah.
This day in 1960, the Peace Corps is first suggested by John F. Kennedy in a speech at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And my future father-in-law was a member of the Peace Corps back in the 70s, I want to say. He's got some stories to tell.
I guess that's why Dave's so nice.
Yeah, he's got stories for days. He hiked the entire Pacific Crest Trail, and we've got to write a memoir at some point just to cover all.
I'd love to hear some of his stories. He's very articulate and he's awesome to hear from.
He is a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
Moving on with this day in history, in 1964, a little guy we might have all heard of, Martin Luther King Jr. announced as the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well deserved.
It doesn't get any better than that as far as honors that you can earn.
Yeah, no, very influential and well deserved. So,
in
no
sports,
cracking jokes on that one.
Nope.
Full seriousness.
In sports history, this day in 1965, Sandy Koufax hurls his second shutout of the World Series, beating the Twins 2-0.
Sucks for the Twins, man. Koufax was awesome.
He was. This day in 1970, the 4th Country Music Association Award is given to Merle Haggard. You a Merle Haggard fan?
No, but I know of him.
All right. Fair enough. Speaking of music, this day in 1971, John Lennon and Nails on a Chalkboard Yoko Ono appear on the Dick Cavett Show.
Oh. Dick Cavett.
Yowie wowie.
That was a delayed one. But you don't like the Roko Ono, huh?
I despise Yoko Ono.
Are you Kristian Fenix Friend Show? With Yoko Ono.
I don't know if that's how she talks.
I don't think it is, but that's okay.
In my mind, that's how she's going to talk today.
All right. And finally, this day in 1979, the NHL's greatest scorer, Wayne Gretzky, scores his first NHL goal. He was a miracle to watch. I loved watching him.
Yeah. He's definitely the GOAT of hockey. You know, what Michael Jordan is to basketball, that's Wayne Gretzky is definitely that to hockey for sure.
Totally.
Just phenomenal. It's amazing how many teams he played for, too.
Yeah. Probably most well known for being on the Kings, though.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some holidays for today.
Holiday.
Some ridiculous, others not. For instance, this first one, Tony, you're wearing the pink shirt, I assume, for Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes,
Today
sir.
is Be Bald and Be Free Day, obviously highlighting those who are going through cancer and owning that bald look. Much appreciated to those who continue to fight.
Kind of.
Yeah, pretty clean cut.
My aunt is a breast cancer survivor, and I've unfortunately lost one of my best friends to cancer. So hate it. Will support it any way I can. And the girls kind of say I look good in pink, so
There you go.
Little Bret the Hitman Hart, pink and black.
Can't argue with the girls. And then real quick, we're going to run down the rest of them. Today is Emergency Nurses Day. It is International Top Spinning Day. National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work and School Day. Okay.
Ooh, I'm going to do that.
National Dessert Day. I'll partake in that. National Chocolate Covered Insect Day. No, thank you.
Caterpillar puss.
National Fossil Day. National Stop Bullying Day. National Lowercase Day. National Pet Obesity Awareness Day.
Wow, walk your pup.
National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. World Standard Day. And Stop America's Violence Everywhere today. Folks, that does it for today's show. Tomorrow is Thursday, and that means that we are exploring Florida's penis and the strange things that happen down there. It is Florida Man. Enjoy your Wednesday, people.
Bye.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2000. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath.